everyone, my name is Daniel and I loved cartoons growing up. Shows such as SpongeBob, Regular Show, The Fairly Odd Parents, and even Hey Arnold I have fond memories with. The shows that I watched growing up taught me valuable life lessons and made me feel emotions that nothing else could as a child. Although with every show that I watched growing up as a child, one stood out from the rest, being known as Samurai Jack. Unlike every other cartoon that I was watching at the time, Samurai Jack was different for its more edgy and darker tone. We follow the main protagonist Jack, who is sent into the future by an evil demon lord known as Aku. Samurai Jack now must return to the past and undo the destruction left by Aku and defeat him. This show has a fair number of episodes, which clearly indicates that it's for more mature audiences despite being on Cartoon Network. I can name many examples, but for today's video we'll be looking at a particular episode that disturbed many around the world. This episode is titled Jack and the Haunted House and is infamous for its heavy, dark twist. Let's begin. We begin the episode with the weary Jack traveling the woods at night. He is cautious and on edge from the atmosphere until he encounters a little girl. The little girl notices Jack and runs away, leaving her teddy bear behind. Jack tries to chase her but is unable to find her, rather he discovers an eerie looking house in the middle of nowhere. Jack seems to be even more on edge but finds the courage to explore the house and trying to find the runaway girl and return her teddy bear to her. As Jack is exploring the house, we get insights to how dirty and abandoned this house is. Inside the house, Jack finds items that give him a strange vision of what looks to be a strange shadowy figure harming people. This puts Jack in an uneasy state, but he decides to continue exploring the house, having found a candle. While Jack is trying to find the little girl, he explores various rooms with items that give Jack even more of these disturbing visions. It isn't until Jack comes across a painting that gives him yet another disturbing vision that he just decides to leave the house. He leaves the teddy bear calling for the girl until he finds her hiding behind a chair. She seems worried and troubled, and Jack decides it would be best to leave the house together with her. Jack goes back to the entrance of the house only to find out that the door is now gone and replaced by a brick wall. Jack becomes fretful and soon realizes how weary he was at the start of the episode and decides best to get some rest and figure all this out the next day. When Jack does eventually wake up, he notices an odd glowing beam of light coming from a room. This is odd because in the house while he was exploring, there's nothing like this. He comes across the girl again and what looks to be her family? Jack is clearly apprehensive about what is he seeing, considering that the house was abandoned and haunted. Jack is cautious but eases up a bit once the father of the family convinces Jack to calm down and to just have tea with them. After a bit of small talk and bonding with the family, Jack is completely at ease, almost forgetting the fact that he's in just a dirty old abandoned house in the middle of nowhere. This isn't until Jack asks questions to the father about the house and how abandoned it looks. It makes the father just absolutely speechless and starts to worry as he tries to cover up something. His wife helps Jack with his question and giving a weird reasoning of a storm, and the father agrees. In order to gain more reassurance for Jack, the father asks his son Toby if he agrees. Toby is just left emotionless and robotic until his eyes start to oddly roll back. This makes the father more worried as he tries to ask Toby another question. However, Toby is unable to answer the question as his eyes roll back completely, and this disturbing scene happens as Jack comes to the realization.
Must not be feeling well.
I'm sorry.
It's revealed that the family that used to live in this house was implied to be murdered and possessed by a shadow dragon-like monster. Jack is stunned as to what he's witnessing as the shadow dragon attempts to claim another victim and attack Jack. As soon as the attack starts, Jack clears his mind as to what he just witnessed, but it's too late as this shadow dragon creature starts to inhale the soul of Jack. Here we see the souls of many other victims that this shadow dragon has claimed. Jack is frightened and shocked helplessly, trying to fight back, but eventually he gives up. While his body gives up, his spirit does not. The shadow dragon looks at Jack close in the eye until Jack's sword unsheaths itself and frees Jack from the dark trap that he was in. Jack then proceeds to fight the beast and slays it once and for all. After this, the house starts to crumble as the bright sun starts to burst out of the window. Here we get a bittersweet ending as by slaying the demon it freed the young girl's family and she is able to reunite with their long lost family. The day is saved and that was the episode. This is probably one of the darkest episodes of any cartoon show that I have watched. This episode covered topics such as death, demons, and gave us one of the most haunting twists of any cartoon. When I first watched this episode, I never saw this coming, especially in the way that they transitioned the family to uncover the demon's facade. Toby's eyes alone just turning back and foaming out of the mouth is enough to make my younger self just have nightmares. This episode does leave a lot of questions though, and it just leaves a lot of mystery that was just never solved at all in the series. We never get an answer as to who this shadow dragon demon looking thing was. We never get any kind of origin for this demon, and he was only in this episode. He didn't have anything to do with Aku either and was given no real reason for attacking this family. Another question that I had was why this demon never attacked the young girl. He attacked all the family members, even Jack, but never thought about harming the girl. It just leaves an air of mystery and disturbance that makes this episode of Samurai Jack so good. The demon is gone now and the family is reunited, but we were still left with questions. Overall, this is a great episode of Samurai Jack. It presents the plot effectively and has an amazing twist and an interesting concept. I'm glad the young girl got a happy ending at the end of the day and Jack was able to overcome this demon. I want to call Samurai Jack my favorite show ever, but this episode delivered greatly on what it was trying to accomplish. I give this episode of Samurai Jack a 9 out of 10. Great visuals, story, and horror. It was trying to capture this, eerie feeling the whole episode, and it was able to do that perfectly. With all that being said though, I've been Daniel7958LX, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Peace out.